important to have that mindset that we are buying businesses, whether we're buying 100 shares of something or whether we're buying the entire company. We always think of them as businesses. So when Charlie and I leaf through Value Line or look at annual reports that come across our desk or read the paper or whatever it may be, that for one thing we do have this cumulative knowledge of a good many industries and a good many companies, not all by a long shot. And different numbers are of different importance, or various numbers are of different importance depending on the kind of business. I mean, if you were a basketball coach, you would, if you were walking down the street and some guy comes up that's 5'4" and says, you ought to sign me up because you ought to see me handle the ball, you would probably have a certain prejudice against it, but there might be one player out there that it made sense on. But on balance, we would say, well, good luck, son, but we're looking for 7-footers, and then if we find 7-footers, we have to worry about whether we can get them halfway coordinated and keep them in school and a few things like that. But we see certain things that shout out to us, look further or think further. And over the years, we've accumulated this background of knowledge on various kinds of businesses. And we also have come up with the conclusion that we can't make an intelligent analysis about all kinds of businesses. And then usually some little fact slips into view that causes us to rethink something. It was mentioned how I got the idea about buying the Bank of America or making an offer to Bank of America on a preferred stock when I was in the bathtub, which is true. But the bathtub really was not the key factor. The truth is, I read a book more than 50 years ago called Biography of a Bank. It was a great book, and about APG&E and the history of the bank. And I have followed the Bank of America, and I've followed other banks, for 50 years. Charlie and I have bought banks. We used to trudge around Chicago trying to buy more banks in the late 60s. And so we have certain things we think about in terms of a bank that are different than we think about when we're buying his car. And so there is not one size fits all.